Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro,
I'm Valeria.
and we are Leftover
Leftover
Stardust. So today we have a layout that we have designed ourselves called the Triadic Triangulation, and what this one is used for is we set an intention and then pull one card from 3 different decks, as you can see here. We read those in conjunction with each other, and then we pull another set of 3 cards, and so on and so forth until we're satisfied. And in so doing, we add layers of information that stack up to create a cohesive message as to the designated intention for the particular drawing. For today, for this particular Triadic Triangulation divination reading, it is on how to better set your self-energetic boundaries to be less swayed by the environment that you find yourselves in.
All right. Today's decks that we have chosen for the Triadic Triangulation demonstration is the Queen Alice Tarot, the Everyday Witch, and the Universe Illusion. The Universe Illusion, we like to treat it as an oracle deck. It is actually, the whole deck is 150 cards total, and it's actually created for psychoanalysis. So what's really cool about this deck is you get to interpret the images however you'd like. There's no titles to any of the cards. And I think that's what's great about it. As the messages unfold, you might see something that we might not see ourselves. And that's what's great. You get to tailor the message to you.
All right, so as far as setting yourself energetic boundaries and being better able to do that, we're going to get started with our reading. Okay, so for the Triadic Triangulation, at a convenience, we offer it on a time-based framework. And so for today's demonstration of it, we're going to set 30 minutes on our garlic timer here. We use this for in-person readings because we are well-seasoned divination readers. So we'll set it to 30, and we'll let it start counting as soon as we're ready to start with the reading interpretation.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get started.
So for the Queen Alice, we have the Four of Swords. For the Everyday Witch, we have the Ace of Swords. And for the Universe Illusion, we have this, what appears to be a dancer silhouette by a door, possibly in a room of some sort. Okay, so for the first set of 3 cards, I definitely see an emphasis of, in order to keep your mind sharp, which is what the Ace of Swords is, I definitely do think in combination of the Four of Swords, and then I'm just going to call this the Shadow card, it's definitely recommending, in order to charge your battery, you have to take a step back and things. So the Shadow card in particular, for me, is recommending that if there's any way that you can still contribute, but maybe more behind the scenes kind of work, anything like that where you can take a step back, where you're still contributing, but it's not like
it's not demanding your entire presence.
Yeah, it's not burning you out, because with the Four of Swords, it's like this individual looks like they fell off their horse. So you just have to be very mindful on what's, taking or using a lot of your energy, and it's definitely recommending to take a step back in a way that's less demanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think with the Shadow card as well, there's an aspect there of like with the door, you can see there's a door behind them, behind the shadow there. I feel like it's like when you leave that particular environment, and that can be a work environment, that can be a social environment, whatever environment it is that tests your energetic boundaries and everything, it's almost like let that door shut as much as possible, to be better able to, like Valeria was saying, like keep your mind sharp and everything, of being able to rest and restore yourself before having to enter back into that environment the next time.
You ready to move on?
Yeah. So, and so for the Triadic Triangulation, now we've got that for these first 3 cards, and now we're going to pull some more from each deck. One more from each deck. So we have the 5 of Wands from the Queen Alice.
We have the 9 of Cups for the Everyday Witch. I love the 9 of Cups card.
All right. Oh, wow. And we have this very interesting looking card from the Universe Illusion.
It almost looks like, it's like a tree coming, like growing out of a hand, and the tree has some eyes. There's like a little baby on the note. It's very
it's very surrealistic.
Abstract,
That's very surrealistic. This Universe Illusion deck is very interesting overall. And then if you notice, so there's the hand there and there's the hand here. I feel like this is like the demands of the environment being represented here. So if you so you can definitely see the like themes of like demanding here. The imagery is pretty similar for the Queen Alice deck and the Universe Illusion card here. You've got like the pinkish red background. You've got like a rather large hand reaching down from above. You've got the white rabbit here. You've got this odd little baby on the stationery there and everything. That just feels very much like the demands of the more mundane kind of stuff, I want to say. Like with the paperwork and everything, it's the kind of environments, like most typically work environments, that are going to have the more like tedious demands that are kind of calling on your mental and like emotional strengths and everything on the day-to-day is definitely what I see with that. And I think with the 9 of Cups is it's just having that sense of that's not everything that matters. Outside of that of having the what this reading is centered around, of having that kind of a boundary in between that, the things that are a little bit more trying to your mind and everything, and then just having a better sense of being able to keep yourself at peace.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Alejandro, especially with the eyes on the tree hands thing.
It's very surrealistic.
Yeah, it's definitely like you have a lot of pressure. Like it's the expression of you feel like there's a lot of eyes on you. And then the 5 of Wands, it is about almost like conflicts of interest, and it definitely feels as if you're out of control a little bit, like you are this helpless child and there's this giant ham just like, okay, I'm gonna take you here, I'm gonna plop you there, you gotta get to work. And it's just it's just like it's not great. Like it's not a great environment to like grow and flourish, because it is that pressure of eyes on you. With the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Cups is a very kind of idealistic card. It's about wishes and dreams. So it's like maybe you have this opportunity to pursue something that you've wanted for a really long time, but now it's like the pressure's on you. And so maybe it's because you're afraid to maybe fail your dreams or trip on it, or you feel like it's so much and you can't let other people down. To connect with is it like color theory? So if the 9 of Cups is representative of like your ideas and your passions and your wishes, well, the rose is a common flower to represent that, of love and passion. And then if you see here this daunting red sky, it's that pressure of it. So I just wanted to put that in before I let you speak. Okay,
sure,
sorry.
Sure. I think I just had one more thing to add before going on to the next set of cards. Is just this feels like the claw from Toy Story, where the aliens, the little toy aliens, kind of are in awe of this claw, of their claw in the claw machine and everything, and it's like that kind of presence that's always there, looming above them, which they enjoy the presence of that claw and everything, and then they feel special for having been picked. But then I think for this it's almost definitely like that sense of not having that looming over you is the place to be. So yeah. And we're moving on to the next set of cards. Ooh, we've got the Magician from Queen Alice.
Ooh. The Five of Wands, yet again, but with a different deck.
And then, from here, we've got a little garden gate, it looks like.
Looks like there might be an individual right behind it.
Okay, yeah, so for these, getting the Five of Wands again, from the other tarot deck in this, there's definitely that sense of a stressful environment. You can see that the figures in this particular card are clearly arguing over the cauldron bubbling and not noticing that the looks like the fire and everything is starting to spread a bit.
Even the cats look like they're arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Oh no.
You know it's stressful when the cats start meowing too.
I think with that and the Magician card it's definitely being able to there's a part of me that wants to say take charge, but it's more like striking out on your own, like looking at the garden gate here and everything, as it feels more of like being able to leave this kind of an environment and enter a more peaceful state of being. I mean, yeah, this whole Triadic Triangulation reading here is aimed at being better able to navigate through stressful environments without getting bogged down yourself. And so so I think it's definitely like, if you have an opportunity, if in whatever environments they could be stressful. Again, I mean, there's so many different environments that could be like that, but of just being able to claim the power to be able to enter a new, more peaceful state of being, environment if possible, or just setting the time aside to be able to find places like that.
I think what's also important is, because the Five of Wands came up twice now, if there is a lot of conflict around you or a lot of differing opinions, and I feel like with the Magician, in order to be a good magician, it's not just having great quality tools, it's learning how to use the tools. Maybe your inspiration to move forward and having the confidence is, this sounds kind of rude, but instead of doing, like, there's obviously going to be individual trials and errors, but I feel like if you can learn from others, they might not be able to teach you what to do, but maybe what not to do.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
I would definitely say that, like, if this group of individuals is on one of the sides of this gate, it's like, look at what they're doing and take a grain of salt and pick and choose what you think is going to be beneficial for you and your journey of trying to, manifest whatever you want. Sometimes in life, people aren't going to be positive role models. There might be people that's like, okay, well, I do not want to be that person growing up. And sometimes it is like that. Life teaches you lessons in different ways. So yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes there's people around that teach you what not to be like. I also see too with the colors, I mean, there's very predominantly yellow here and then here as well, but it's like it's only the top half of the card above the gate, so it's all, there's being able to, like what you were saying, of being able to take what you can from that environment, but not letting it be the entirety of what you learn and can apply going forward.
For sure.
All right, and so the next card for the Queen Alice is the Ace of Wands.
We have the Fool. Oh, that's
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah, definitely.
I love that card.
And then we've got a
couple having a nice romantic dinner. Maybe not dinner.
Maybe not dinner. It looks like brunch or
it's
something.
very reminiscent of the Two of Cups, if you're familiar with tarot.
Yeah, definitely. This feels like a very supportive environment here. The Ace of Wands, the Fool. This feels like a new chapter of leaving that kind of stress behind. So I think what I see here is this feels like a new start. You've got the Fool, the Ace of Wands. Both of those have very like startup energy. The Fool is very much about beginnings and everything. And the Ace of Wands is definitely like that creative start. The creative impetus to carry forward. And I think with the card that's reminiscent of the Two of Cups, I think for sure is it's finding. Ooh, you know what? It's finding like I want to say like a fertile ground for whatever new ideas or beginnings. It's finding a place that will be supportive for that.
Okay, so with the Fool indicating of finding a new start or a new path, exploring territories that you have not yet explored, take the knowledge from the Five of Wands, from your old environment of what not to do. With this couple and this card, reminiscent of the Two of Cups again, I definitely see kind of like speed dating energy where you want to test out and try out different things. Okay, next set of cards. We have the Eight of Swords with the Queen Alice, the World. Look at that ocean imagery. And with the Universe Illusion, we have, it looks like a man or an individual walking across
a rainy street.
Yes, and like a cityscape kind of environment.
You know what I get with this is kind of following up with the energy from the last set of cards, is almost like not getting tied down, I think is the facet coming through with this. Like the World card, figures throwing their hat up into the breeze and everything is carrying it away, and then with the Eight of Swords being very much a card of restriction, and then with the Universe Illusion card, showing a rainy street and everything. It feels like a preparedness and a willingness to be able to move on to other things if the environment doesn't suit your particular course of ideas and actions, I think.
With the Eight of Swords, it's very much not that you're physically unable to go to these different places necessarily. It's more of a mental limitation that you might have where you feel like whatever self-limited beliefs you may have, it kind of keeps you from wanting to explore. And with this World card in particular, it very much shows like this person may or may not be on vacation, so it's a place of temporariness. Temporality, yes.
Liminal.
And so maybe to get out of this mental state of maybe feeling so overwhelmed of like, oh, I can't move from where I'm currently at, is maybe take little trips, take those baby steps. I don't personally live in a city where I can like walk around everywhere, but maybe that's what you need to do first, is baby steps of, okay, I'm gonna walk here today, I'm gonna explore this part of my environment, and just be open and maybe more spontaneous as much as you can. Of course, if you are in a more limited state mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
But definitely take those baby steps to try to go out and explore, specifically on your own. If you see here, both individuals look like they're solitary. Yes.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, definitely. And then, bringing it back to the overall intention of being like unswayed and everything, and unsupportive environments and everything. This is definitely like a strike out on your own a little bit, here and there as much as you can.
I think we should move on.
Yeah. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles here from Queen Alice.
Have the Ten of Wands. Okay.
And ooh, this is kind of almost the opposite of that other card that was reminiscent of the Two of Cups. It looks like two people that are very clearly have closed off body language.
I kind of see with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, maybe there is a limitation financially, like you're being financially spread thin, but the Ace of Pentacles is about opportunity, specifically potentially new opportunity coming into your life. So if there is a better opportunity coming up for you, the Ten of Wands is definitely suggesting that you might have to drop other things in order to experience this. And there might be, with these two individuals, some disagreement or some conflict, but there is, in order to not have conflict, you might have to drop some conflicts of interest of some sort.
I think what I see here with the Ace of Pentacles, having an aspect of opportunity to it, it reminds me of the expression that like opportunities are thin on the ground. You can see that Alice is peering through like a tiny door here and everything, and then like what you were saying about idea about dropping things and stuff, is it's almost like to be able to fit through this opportunity here is having to like release different kinds of burdens or responsibilities or
and to tie into the previous cards of the Five of Wands, of people around you disagreeing and the pressure that you feel, I think with this, you pursuing whatever you want to pursue, there is something, you are gonna have to accept that whatever you pursue, you're not gonna be able to please everyone. And I think what's most important is what makes you happy. No matter what you do, there's always going to be someone that disagrees with you or thinks that you should be doing this or that or whatever.
If you're not struggling, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. So I think that's just a matter of accepting not only that you cannot, it's just impossible to take everybody's opinion into consideration, that you need to do what's best for you and whatever opportunities is presented to you.
So we've got the Devil from Queen Alice, the Jabberwocky.
The Seven of Wands from the Everyday Witch. Or Seven of Swords, sorry about that.
And then it looks like some decorations. There's Polaroids hanging from the ceiling rafters.
And fairy lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that looks like a social environment right there, for sure. So what I see from these cards is where previously it feels like we've been through like a work environment, a more like relationship environment. This feels like a social environment with the decorations hanging from the ceiling here. You've got the Polaroids and the pretty lights and everything. And the Devil card here has chains and everything. That feels almost like those kind of social pressures. And the Seven of Swords gives me like that kind of energy of like sneaking out of a party or, somewhere that you don't want to be pressured by. The Devil card is very much about like pressures of different kinds, whether that's, pressures from outside, that could be, your own internal pressures or urges or patterns of negative behavior.
Definitely don't get into anything that you can't get out of. Especially with the imagery of the chains and then the lights. That's something. Especially when there's like little pictures of individuals. It's
mugshots.
You always see these fairy lights or Christmas lights or whatever you celebrate. These decorative lights are often tangled in a ball and you have to untangle it again.
Before being able to use them.
So make sure you always have kind of like a backup plan. I don't want to say an escape route or anything, but it definitely it seems like you do not want to get into anything that you might regret later on, and then you feel again negatively pressured to complete this thing that you really just don't want to be a part of.
Remember, kids, don't give in to peer pressure.
You want to move on?
I think so.
Okay.
That feels like that's what that is for me. Got the Four of Cups from Queen Alice.
And then we have the Three of Pentacles.
And, we have a Judge's Gavel here from the Universe Illusion.
Okay. Seems on our little garlic timer we got 5 minutes left. Roughly. We always go a little bit over the timer, but this may or may not be the last set of cards.
What I get from these is, so far this has all been about, like subverting negative environments around you. This feels very much, these three to me feel like you're being aware of your own impact on your environment. With the Four of Cups feels very reflective. The Three of Pentacles is that kind of creative endeavors, that effort. And then with the gavel here, that kind of like judgment energy, judgy, of just like the kind of like ruling of your own actions. So I feel very much that this is like being aware of your own impact too. It's not it's not always other people in your environment that make it negative. Sometimes it's you.
Ooh.
I'm just being aware of that possibility.
I think sometimes a lot of the Four of Cups cards, not just this one from this particular deck, but it is often an individual under a tree with their arms crossed, and they seem kind of like aloof and kind of like, well, okay,
like a little bit more stubborn, where this feels more reflective and pensive. It's the mark. The Three of Pentacles here is like the mark that you leave on your environment. I think what I get from the Four of Cups too is like, don't turn a blind eye to your own work, your own effort, your own impact. Be honest with yourself on how you are affecting those around you.
And how much effort you're putting, because as this appears to be a group effort, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Cups, lots of queen energy, yes. Ooh, Fabio hair.
No, that looks like an ocean queen. If you notice, there's a ship. I think the main thing that I get from these three cards, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and then this feels to me like almost like a Mother Earth figure. You've got the ocean down here at the bottom, and the background here feels like there's lots of more, looks like there's like a mountainside here, there's a highway. It just feels very naturey, in the sense, like in a more grand sense. And so I think for these three cards here is, I think an overall and underlying message here for being able to be a little bit more self-sufficient with your energy and not be so susceptible to outside influence in your different environments and everything is being aware that the the consequences of other people's actions that can affect your mental and emotional health and being and everything, as it's I think there's an aspect here of learning to not take that so personally. The way that people act aren't necessarily a reflection on you as a person, on other people. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's a reflection of who they are as a person, rather than who you are. And so I think for that it's just being self-sufficient in your own emotional heart and in your mind and everything, in your mental state of being, that you as a person are worthy and grandiose and everything. And this just feels very like positive, like self-positivity, positive self-talk and everything, of just being aware of your own value and worth and your own like intrinsic nature of goodness, which hopefully you strive for.
I think continuing with the water imagery and the reflection of what Alejandro said. Oh, there's that timer. Okay, I'll wrap this up, baby. It's all about, I think, understanding and reflecting the environment on how you feel about it. The Queen of Cups is about emotions, right? So it's asking yourself, what do I like about this environment? What don't I like? And I think with the combination with the Queen of Swords is making those decisions of how you feel about these different environments. And again, in this particular Queen of Swords, Queen Alice has a little teardrop falling down her face. So you might have to make decisions where people that you used to hang out with, you might not do anymore. You know, change the environment that you want to actually be in.
Yeah, there's definitely an aspect of like you have the power and ability to pick your own environments. I think a lot of times, maybe not 100% of the time, but as much as you're able to, of being able to choose your own environment, I think is a big theme with these last three cards here.
Yeah, and I think if you're in a situation where you can't change it all that much, your environment, it's maybe then reflecting on how can you react towards your current environment, so you're not so inflamed or down on the kind of people that are around you. Really setting time for yourself.
I think all of that's great and everything, and even in the environments that you don't have control over and stuff, I think with this card here from the Universal Illusion card it's just having that kind of grander perspective of you're not responsible for other people's actions so much, and that you can, looking at it, this feminine figure here is much larger than this sailing ship underneath and everything. And I think there's an aspect there of like being the bigger person. I don't like using that phrase too much because whatever, but of just recognizing that, again, that you don't have to absorb the consequences of every the emotional consequences of every action that other people do or take, or everything that other people say to you, of just being self-sufficient and having those boundaries of recognizing that you can set things aside for yourself, having your own personal bubble of self-assurance that can't be disturbed by other people around you, I think is important. And I think that's what this the thread through this reading here for the Triadic Triangulation has been pulling at.
One last thing, if I could add.
Absolutely.
These two cards right here has clouds in it, so I think for any last messages, it's very much about clearing your vision on, again, like reflecting on how you are in your environment.
I want to build off, actually, you bring up a good point with the clouds. If you notice, the feminine figure's gown here appears to be like the clear blue sky that the ship is sailing through. And I feel like that's the kind of message here too, is like make your own clear sky. You know, with all of these clouds, storm clouds surrounding and everything, it's make your own internal landscape a clear blue sky amidst all the storms around. So, all right, awesome. Well, this was our first Triadic Triangulation Divination reading here today for our YouTube channel, our second video. And so yeah, so if you have any comments or anything that you want to leave, or if you want to contact us, you can find us at our website, leftoverstardust.com, or at We Are Leftover Stardust on Instagram and TikTok. And in the meantime, my name is Alejandro.
I'm Valeria.
And we are
Leftover Stardust. Bye. Have a good day.